Finally, some Transformers news that got my attention. Coming to us from TFW 2005, we have a new collaboration listing for a van and Sport 7. To those who do not know, I actually have the Transformers collaboration. Oh god, what's this fucking Stranger Things? This is Frequency. When I got this figure a couple weeks ago, I looked at it and I thought, you know what? In its alt mode, this would actually make a nice fan for the A team. Now, the rumor has been circulating for quite a while that they've been, kind of dabbing in doing a possible collaboration with the film studio to do a collaboration with A team to do the van. And if that is the case, then I think that van would be a good blueprint, I guess you could say, for it, with some minor tweaks, some coloring, possibly a little bit of enlarging, because I think the van would need to be just a little bit larger. It would need to have a good spoiler. The rims have to be perfect also. But I think that the bones for that A team van would go pretty good with the frequency version of that van. Now, the other collaboration is for Sport 7. The reports are that they're also supposed to be possibly dabbing with doing a collaboration with the Fast and the Furious, and at which I have to fucking say, why? Why? Fast and Furious is played out. It's fucking useless at this point. They are about as played out as The Simpsons are. I mean, like, really, who the fuck even watches Fast and Furious anymore? To me, the Fast and the Furious stopped being relevant when that one guy and when that one actor ended up dying. I can't recall what his name is, but once he died, that fucking franchise went downhill quickly. But enough about that, ladies and gentlemen. This has left me thinking, what would be some good collaboration vehicles to come up after the A Team van has been released. And I'm kind of thinking back what we've got so far. We have the DeLorean, which I think is an awesome transformer. We got the DeLorean that was released back for like what 2018, 2019 ish. We got the Ghostbusters Ectotron. Oh, by the way, it was Gigawatt. I think that's what its name is for the Back to the Future. We got the Ectotron from Ghostbusters. We have Maverick from Top Gun. We have a couple vehicles from Jurassic Park. I can't fucking remember their names. Jurassic Park's another fucking franchise that needs to go away. We have Code Red from the first Stranger Things collaboration. We got Frequency here. I'm pretty sure there are others, but we also got I got the X-Men Blackbird, or the Blackbird, whatever that one. Ultimate Expanse, I think that's what it's called. So I have a few of these vehicles that are very important to my youth. What would I like to see after the A Team van? And I'm glad you asked what it is, because I'm going to tell you anyway. So first off, we have the vehicle from the movie Cobra. This is a 1950 Mercury Monterey. This is a vehicle that was used in the movie Cobra. That starred Sylvester Stallone. And if I remember correctly, I think Sylvester Stallone actually owned a vehicle like this that he allowed them to make reproductions of for the chase scenes and everything. Do I ever think that they would do a vehicle like this? No. But hey, if they did, it'd be nice to have like a little Sylvester Stallone figurine that comes with it. If you're a fan of Eddie Murphy and, oh god, who's that other motherfucker? Nick Nolte. If you're a fan of those two guys, then you will remember the movie 48 Hours. And this is a 1964 Cadillac DeVille convertible 48. This is from both 48 Hours and Another 48 Hours. Once again, this is just something I would like to see, but I doubt it would ever make it into a collaboration. For me, the collaborations are like an ultimate dream fest. Like, what would I personally like to see? Next up, if you're a fan of the 80s, then you were probably a fan of the TV show Miami Vice. To this, I present to you the 1986 Ferrari Testarossa. I think this can actually be done using the oh god, what are the runabout or run amok molds from the War for Cybertron series? It'd be a pretty easy mold, I guess you could say. But once again, if you're a fan of Miami Vice, this car is one that's probably going to stick out for you. Up next, I asked you if you were alive in 1989, what was the biggest superhero movie of that time? That's right, it was Batman. And to that, I would love to see the 1989 Batmobile from Batman. Uh, a lot of people say the Batmobile from the animated series was the best, and which I have to say they're fucking morons. But anyway, I personally think that the Batmobile from the 1989 movie actually was the best, and it's definitely a hell of a lot better than whatever the fucking Christopher Nolan movie's Batmobile was. That thing was a fucking abomination. But yeah, I could definitely see this one happening. I'm just because if I remember correctly, I think didn't Hasbro get the didn't they end up buying Kenner? And if I remember correctly, didn't Kenner used to make Batman toys or whatever? Oh, fuck, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure they could get it done if need be. I would love to actually see this as a collaboration. Up next, we have a vehicle that I know will never see the light of day because it was based on a very violent movie. And as we know, we can't have toys based around violence anymore. Isn't that correct, ladies and gentlemen? That is the school bus from A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. Now, it would need this school bus would need to have the damaged grill because if you watch the movie, that damaged grill kind of made the bus look demonic when they did the close-ups of the front during the desert scene. I would love to actually have this as, as a collaboration. I would even love to have like a little Freddy Krueger figurine that could come with it. But do I ever think that this would happen? No, but it's actually something I would like to have. If you lived in the 1980s, you will have heard of the show Magnum PI, and this is the Fieri, how do you pronounce it? 308 GTS. I think that's the right designation. I have it written down on my notes. But anyway, this is the vehicle that was used during the TV or used for the TV show Magnum PI. And my mom, she actually had a crush on I think it was Tom Selleck. It was a whole mustache and all that shit. But yeah, I think this could also be done with the runabout or run amok molds, since basically this vehicle and the vehicle from Miami Vice are they're kind of similar to both Fiaris, and they both kind of have low ground clearance. But yeah, so this is a nice car. I wouldn't mind seeing this one. Now, to those who do not know, I'm a fan of the old ultra violence and the crude language. That's one thing that our society has become a lot recently. It's soft. Our our species has become so goddamn soft. We can't even really say what's on our mind anymore without triggering a bunch of fucking snowflakes. But anyway, in the 1980s, we didn't have problems like that because we weren't pussies back then. But anyway, one of the movies I loved from the 1980s was the movie Scarface. And I don't have the name of this vehicle, but this is the vehicle that was used in the movie Scarface. Basically, Tony Montana and his friend was driving the vehicle, if I remember correctly. And Tony Montana, he was like halfway asleep. He was like drunk. He was fucking drunk. And Tony Montana's, him and his friend were talking, and Tony said, "I want it all." And the friend goes, "What do you want, Tony?" He goes, "I want the world." This is a fucking awesome movie, and I would love to see this as a collaboration. But like I said, because of how soft we have to be now, we can't have that. But still, a guy can dream, Kenny. Finally, we have a vehicle that is a big no-no, ladies and gentlemen, because we are afraid to learn from history. That's right. Instead of actually learning from history and trying to be better, we just try to forget history. And this vehicle sadly has become the face of forgetting history, and that is the General Lee from the Dukes of Hazzard. We can't have this vehicle. Oh no, no, because it's tied to racism, which I think is a fucking joke. But anyway, this vehicle I think would be fucking awesome to have. But like I said, because society, we are now told we can't learn from history. We have to forget history. And because of that, we have to kind of forget and burn and tear down everything that was part of our history. But yeah, I would love to actually see this vehicle, but knowing Hasbro and how they have to remain PC and everything, we're never going to see it. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen. This was just meant to be a quick video. But yeah, so basically we are going to be getting a possible A-team van. And you know, I'm actually pretty cool with that. I would another vehicle that I did not have up here is the helicopter from the TV show Airwolf. I would actually love to get that helicopter. You know, I always thought it looked kind of cool in the TV show. But yeah, so those are the vehicles that I would like to see on top of, you know, what we may already be getting with the A-Team van. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've all enjoyed it, and I will see you all later. Until next time, my name is Jeff, aka GCurse. Wishing you all a great day. Stay safe, everybody. Peace out.